Flashmob project was funded by Media Box, which gets cash from the Department of Education. All of the projects that SPID and TFE do are subsidised, and so funding is crucial. Government money, sponsorship, donations, also gift aid for SPID, because we're a charity, we can get an extra third on top of any money that people give.
I got involved in Flashmob like 3 years after I actually met Ash and Naeem. They phoned me and said, yeah, we're doing an audition for this film, Flashmob. And so I went down, man, I done an audition for it, and the script was based on Helena Thompson. She wrote a script called Happy Slap.
I just got a text from SPID, who I hadn't seen for like 2 years or something. She's just saying, we're doing this short film called Flashmob, are you interested? It wasn't called Flashmob then even, I think it was still called Happy Slap. Come and audition, you know, and I thought, well, it was okay, I'll give it a go. So I came in and auditioned, I met SPID again, and it seemed kind of to be going down the same sort of route. And then I met Ash. He was at the second audition, and he seemed to have like a much bigger idea of what it wanted to be. He was much more interested in kind of developing it rather than just kind of sticking with what was Happy Slap. And then I kind of became a lot more interested, and that grabbed me there. And in the third audition, Mr. Naeem was there, and he's just Billy Big Bollocks. He came in and just started his stuff and started talking about this being this big film, and he kind of spoke about his other film, Gangster Kittens and Gary Kurtz, and he name drops like nothing. And then that was when I knew that it was going to be a lot more exciting.
The first thing we did was to contact Kensal Youth, which is the group of local council estate teenagers that SPID regularly works with, get them to come along and audition. Once we got our cast, we had to sort out access in order to film in different parts of the council estate. We did a lot of knocking on doors. We had quite a bit of success with local residents. Some of them were lovely. They would cook for us while TFE were filming. A few of them were slightly concerned by the violence, but they usually calmed down when we explained the moral of the film.
Flashmob is essentially the story of revenge, deceitfulness.
I know what you think, but it's fine. I do it all the time.
Trickery.
The real friends here.
Peer pressure.
You don't mind, do you?
No, I'm easy.
The sense of being popular. Because if you're not popular and you don't fit in, then you're always going to feel like an outcast. The main storyline is that Keno and his gang from the Kensal estate, they are the gang, they are the posse of that estate. No one can mess with them. Akeem tries to get involved with them. He tries to be pally-pally with Keno and his friends. And in saying that, he tries to bring along Max. Max is Akeem's friend. So Akeem brings along Max, who isn't as, friendly and isn't as cuzzy as everyone else is, and isn't, urban, loosely using that term again. And so he tries to bring him in and involve him in what he's doing, because Max and Akeem are brethren. They've been friends for a long time. And so he just wants to bring him in and, bring him up like his own, And so in doing that, he that's his downfall. And so they bully Max. It shows how that if you push someone too far, how much they could snap. And so these days you got to really be careful who you're talking to and how you talk to people, because a lot of things could have been going on in their heads, and if you push them to that brink, they could snap and do something real dangerous. Like, say, Akeem, he got caught up in a world that wasn't his own, and so in that world he's kind of pulled and pushed. He's a follower, but somehow he has some sort of confidence about him, but he's much of a follower, and he's trying to fit in. And he tries to get his friend to fit in, his friend Max. And they obviously take the piss out of him and, make him the worst kind of person in the world. Technology bullying is not physical. It's very mental, a mental type of bullying. And, once you play with someone's mind, once their mind is gone, there's no coming back.
My character in Flashmob is called Kino. And when I first read the script, I didn't think I'd play Kino, because I always get kind of cast as roles like, because my long hair, like I get kind of victims and kind of, I always get auditions for like a trendy boyfriend and shit like that. And so when I first read it, I thought, that's not going to be my character. I disregarded Kino, to be honest. When I first read the script, I just thought, that's not going to be me, because that's not what I'm used to playing, that's not what they're going to see me as. And then I got the phone call, I think, from Ash saying, we want you to play Kino. I kind of thought, wow, you know, this is something new. Means it was like, that was a lot more exciting. It meant I could play something different, because he's a really fun character. He's a real bastard, Kino. He's like, he really sees himself as this huge businessman, and this estate is like his empire. And it meant a lot more to me to play that character, because he was so fun, and I could really mess around with it. And then we started kind of developing the character and getting all these great, like really funny lines in, and just really developing the character and building him up to be like this huge kind of emperor. Happy Halloween.
Bringing the development of the script and of the characters, I love that stage, you know, because that's where you get meaty, and that's where you start to see all the colours come out of the script, and these characters, you can play with them. And you can actually, and then when you put them in different situations and you do a lot of role play with them, then, you know, bring out a different side to this character they never thought was there before. So you start exploring and you start to become this character. You don't act to this character, you be this character. The transformation that we made from Helena Thompson's script, Happy Slap, and once we had Ash and Naeem involved, and we had the whole TFE crew, you know, it was a different vision and a different way to take the film. You know, it started becoming more gritty, and it started to become more real, and you know, it took a change, and that change had an impact on the whole cast. And because there was a lot of different influences, different walks of life coming into this one film, you started to get all these different colors, and it started to become a canvas, like Picasso. You know, everyone was drawing these different things, and the characters come together, and it started to become a beautiful painting, this whole oil painting. That's how it was in the end, you know. And with all these, you know, different people, you get different information, and you get different perspectives on life, and you get different perspectives on feelings and characters and emotions.
When we first got the script, it was kind of very bare bones, my character. There wasn't much to him, you know, because a lot of the idea was that, you know, it's youth oriented. It'd all be our input. So we'd go in the mornings, and I remember the first time we did it, I just got in, and then Naz, the director, had said to me, okay, we're going to develop your character. I want you to just give a speech as Kino. He just threw me out there in the middle of the fucking water, like, I had to dive straight in. He gave me probably about half a minute to think about what I was going to say. Then I had to stand up front of the whole cast and crew and give a speech and tell everyone about Kino and how I was Kino, and why I was so good, and why it was my estate, and why everybody should love me. And I was left there for a good 5 or 6 minutes, you know, just talking. And that's how kind of we got to develop the character, and that's how I kind of got to explore the character. What were you laughing at?
Nothing.
Nothing? Just laugh at nothing? Or some sort of lunatic? You're laughing again at nothing? Something funny, something amusing. You can leave.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, go away. You're pathetic, off you go. You're not coming on Friday.
Oh!
What are you, some little dying mammal? Go away. I just want to see. Oh God, you sound like a dying mammal. Your breath stinks.
Naeem, he got Kino to really become Kino. And so with him being Kino, it made me become Akeem. Because the way Kino was manipulating the whole of us, like Max, and you had me, and you had Kaz, and you had Rats, and all these characters, and you saw how he was getting into it. He started controlling us under madness. And it was like, we couldn't get out of it. It was like a surreal kind of energy that he had, and it was good. It started to come out of him, and then from that, we started to develop the script even more. The script started to become real, and it started to breathe, and it started to, you know, because it was based on Helena Thompson's script. And so, and bringing it into a film genre it's a big transition. You have to make it real, you have to make it convincing, and you have to and stage, you have all these theatrical devices. But in film, you got to be, you know, it's all about the inner emotion. And so with that, went into a different world, and it was hard to kind of play that character in different scenes when it was all mix and match, but it still worked, man. And I love working on film like that. And seeing Kino's crew just rising to the top. When I saw Naeem work with them, and I mean, stories are based on characters. I love characters. And when you saw Kino and Kaz and Rats, and they were just taking over this estate, Kenzel Rise was theirs. We just come for the day, and then Kenzel Rise was all of theirs. I was thinking, nah, I gotta step up my game. And so that's when I became Akeem, and Akeem started to come out more, and he started to think more, and he started to breathe, and he started, I wasn't Zephyr no more. I was Akeem.